SDS here again, back with Lady Crown, and we don't stay down, we stay up, and we don't chat pop, but it's not real talk, it's another midweek catch up. And yeah, a wise man once said that the science of organization is the key to stop procrastination. And yeah, greetings to you all out there, Lady Crown's got a little, download for honor. Um, yeah, man, these things happen all the time, but yeah.
Yeah, I dare say many of you might have heard in the news what happened to that group of friends that went out on Friday and they were discovered Sunday by one of the deceased best friend. Actually went and found them. They were reported missing. This is in Cardiff. They were reported missing on Saturday. Police didn't really do anything until Sunday, and when they did do something, they couldn't find nothing, whatever. And so this chap's best friend went out looking for them with his father, and about 15 minutes after they came across the car. So there's this great big island, and it looks like the car skidded and gone into these trees, which were kind of obscure, but you could see the track marks on the road. That's what let the friend sort of like think, let me go and investigate further, and then found them. Two of them seriously ill in hospital, obviously with some serious injuries, and they were in that car for 2 days, literally 48 hours until they were discovered with their friends who had transitioned. So what can we say? These things happen, but all we can do is send love, energy to all of those, because we're talking 5 families, and so you can imagine the ripple effects: mums, dads, aunts, uncles, sisters, brothers, nieces. It goes on and on and on. Friends, I think they all came together yesterday to do a vigil at the island where the accident took place. But let's just spare a thought for those people that are going through really, really difficult times as it is. Never mind having to deal with the loss of young lives. I think the eldest was 21. Yeah. So thoughts and prayers go out to all those people that lost their lives and their families that are affected by it, and those that are still in hospital. Very critical in terms of their. Let's wish that they get a speedy recovery, and send healing energy their way. Not that they'll ever get over anything like this, because these things will last a lifetime in terms of the effects that it has on your mental. But I'm sure if they get the right help, they'll be fine. So yeah, thoughts and prayers go out to all of those people that are affected by the loss of such young lives. Who knows what the potentials of those lives would have been? But sometimes we're here for a moment in time, and who's to decide how short or how long that's going to be? Yeah.
Everybody deals with trauma differently. It really comes down to you. You know what I mean? Because getting external help is good, but really and truly, you have to do that inner work in it to cleanse your spirit from those lower emotions. But real pain and suffering. You know what I mean? What we learned with life, both of us, is that a lot of people complain about minor things, man. You know what I mean? Compared to people that are really going through it. You know what I mean? Losing loved one. Trust me, that's real trauma. Near death experiences, that's real trauma. You know what I mean? And these are the things that we need to put more focus on, instead of putting focus on things that people just take. You know what I mean? Like, take it for granted. Like, trust me, every time you step out your house and you go about your business, it's a blessing. Remember, there's people out there that can't do that. You get me? Like, a lot of us, we don't count our blessings, man. We don't count our blessings. We love to look at negativity. This is how the mind's been programmed. We love to look at things that we perceive as negative, because not everything's negative. Remember, we perceive it as being negative, but because our perception is that it's negative, we're gonna have an emotional attachment to it that draws us down. Nah, man, we got to realize that we've got so many blessings, man. People are going through so much suffering and pain out there, we could go even deeper, but not even going to go down there, you know what I mean, in terms of what's really going on with the elites and that. You get me? Like, a lot of people need to realize, trust me, you've got so many blessings, man. Love your life, man. Love yourself and love your life. You know what I mean?
Give thanks.
Give thanks. You never know what's around the corner. So this is why it's so key to tap into the laws of attraction, so you know what you're attracting.
Exactly.
The ones there.
Exactly.
Trust me, because a lot of people don't realize that they're creating their reality. So when bad things happen to you, remember you're at a certain frequency for that to happen. Trust me, you start to take responsibility when you gain the knowledge, the awareness of knowledge of self. You start to take responsibility for your life instead of saying, "Oh, this is happening to me." No, sir, you created that, man. You're a powerful creator.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So true.
Trust me, man. But shout outs to people out there that went through that crash there, and these things happen all the time. All the time.
Some you just don't get reported on. I think this one more so because the police were contacted on Saturday and couldn't, had nothing to report on. I mean, we're talking 5 young people just don't vanish, you know what I'm saying? So you think that, use all their resources to go out there and start doing some searching, but it took his best friend and his father to find them. I think some questions need to be asked, you know what I mean? They can, police complaints, ombudsman need to be contacted, because that shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. So, like I said, sometimes we're the ones, when you make that phone call, oh, blah, 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 yo, when you can get off your own backside.
You got to do it.
We got exactly that. And what his best friend did is what he should have done. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit there waiting for somebody else to come along and give you the answers or the solutions to whatever it is you might be experiencing or going through. Trust me, we're mighty powerful people. We can get up, we can organise ourselves. I think that at one point they had 200 people were out searching for them at one point. These are all people in the area. Once they found out what was happening, that and we're talking 5 families, so you can imagine they all came together and they were out there searching. That's what we're supposed to do, So in terms of what's happening on a global scale, no matter what it is, we should come together as a collective and support the community, the elderly, the children, the young ones, your sons, your daughters, your boys, your girls, you know what I mean? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Not being frightened and hiding underneath the table, because everything that's happening on the planet now is getting to that point where it's heightened, and then you're going to get that moment. The force majeure, where it's going to be the calamity, people with their hands on their heads, Lord have mercy, how about this by me? Yo, all of those things are going to happen. It's about you positioning yourself so you don't get caught up in it, and do what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Provide for yourself and your family, your community, build them strong, build them deep. I was listening to Lynette Zhang a few days ago, and she was talking about the community that were actually starting to come together, and we're going back to the old ways, which they've never left anyway, and it was called barter. So I have whatever it is I have. You I want a job doing that I can't do, might be something to do, a tap changing. So you're a plumber, you come along, you change my tap, and then whatever it is I've got, maybe it's money, maybe it's some silver, maybe it's some food, maybe it's some seeds, maybe it's, you get what I'm saying? And there was exchanging and not actually using money at all, because we all know that the central banks that they have all over the world, Bank of England, Federal Reserve, there's private central banks. And it's getting to the point now where, you've got Jerome Powell, the chairman for the Fed, saying, literally shucking up his shoulders and saying, well, we're running out of steam. Of course they are, because the more money they print, the higher the inflation goes. The treasury bonds, once upon a time, America could sell their treasury bonds, 10-year, 30-year bonds, and these countries would get back whatever interest. Now, nobody don't want the treasury bonds. They don't want them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's faux money. You're not what's the point of buying those treasury bonds when they're going to pay you with the US dollar that has no value, that is decreasing as we speak? Their official figures is 31 trillion. You hear me that? 31 trillion. Yeah, that's out there. 31 trillion printed into existence. Most of that is digital. It's not the actual physical money. So how can you pay back 31 trillion when you need to print money to start paying back? So you can see how the debt's just accumulated to the point where I don't think there's much air left in that balloon. And it really is going to be a nasty bird. It going boss. When you're picking and you blow a bubble with bubble gum, and you are trying to get them bigger. And it come to it's right, as big as your face. And then somebody or one of your brothers or sisters, pops it because they're jealous because yours is bigger, and it nasty up the whole of your face. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be an absolute shit show. BlackRock, Vanguard, them two, I tell you, BlackRock had investors, yeah, and they blocked the. This is just in February. They blocked the investors from withdrawing 71 billion. You hear me, though? With a B. They blocked their investors from withdrawing their money. What does that tell you? There's another company that they got in it's Nordic CMBS. It's a property. It literally it's a massive property portfolios, and they're now starting to wobble. Yeah, with 551 million euros that anybody can pay back. So these big companies, the BlackRocks and the Vanguards, trust me. So it's just the dominoes are stacked up and they are falling. The Bank of Japan, they've been doing zero interest for the longest time. It's all going to end very badly. And when you hear Jim Rickards out there speaking about it, Robert Kiyosaki, Andy Sheckman, Peter Schiff, Cliff High, and I could go on and on and on. They are warning the people them to be prepared and get ready, because this is going to happen. It's not going to just go away. Trust me, you're going to see hyperinflation. And I've spoken to you about Weimar Republic and what happened then. Just you can even see some of the old footage on YouTube or on the internet. You just type in Weimar Republic and what happened. Or you don't have to go back that far. You can just go back and look at the Wall Street crash. And that wasn't global. That was just in America. We're talking a global financial collapse. So all the things happening in Ohio, the chemical plants blowing up and the water contamination and all of the things, that are happening on a global scale, when everybody's panicked and worried about water supplies and food and shelter and all the rest of it, then, that's what they always say, never let a good crisis. Exactly. So they're going to make sure there's a crisis, but don't let that crisis affect you, because you're prepared and you're ready. You know exactly what's coming. Forewarned is forearmed. Wake up your friends, wake up your families. If those that are comfortable, just leave them. You can't drag somebody along with you who's not ready to actually acknowledge what's happening. There's you've got the WhatsApp messages from Matt Hancock being out there now and literally showing you, say, oh, this thing was like, wait a minute. And yet people still say, oh no, it's the right thing to do. Protect the people. Ignorance is no excuse anymore. There's no need for us to be ignorant, because it's out there. The truth is out there. Pfizer, yes, I said it. Begins with a P and ends with an R. Look at STS's face right now. I'll say it again. Pfizer, $3 trillion lawsuits going through right now. $3 trillion. They went before Congress and was asked about the production of their lovely serum that they wanted to give to people, and they gave to people. You know what they said? They said they produced and they did what the government asked them to do. Well, if you're sitting, cause all a loss of life and injury, and you turn around and said you did what the government told you to do, and what's it to tell you about those so-called governments? Exactly. Got me my you.
It's a beautiful day.
Wonderful. Life couldn't be better.
Yeah, man. Because it's about your focus in it. You know what I mean? Focus on what best serves you. Not what hurts you. And we're in a world right now where, trust me, a lot of us, we're focused on things that degrade us and put us down in the dirt. If you really want to elevate your mental, you got to really tap into your own frequency, man. You don't have to tap into the bad news all the time. You have to tap into things that don't serve you all the time, because as long as you do that, remember, every sense gets fed. Remember that. Not just your taste buds, your vision, your ears, when you listen, everything gets fed. So whatever you tap into, whatever you consume, like my mentor likes to say, you can become. So I make sure that I consume the right things in order for me to elevate, you know what I mean? And a lot of people need to work on themselves. A lot of people need to tap into the frequency of love, because this fear frequency is so accessible. It's everywhere. People are even scared of themselves. I was, trust me, until I dealt with self, you get me? And as long as we don't deal with our shadows of life, we're going to be dealing with so many issues, And this is why me and Lady Crown are able to speak about all sorts of things without it affecting our internal condition.
No.
Because we dealt with the fear, especially with the cold showers, baby.
Ooh, this morning it was sharp, let me tell you. Backside.
Trust me, because we've overcome to the point where now it's no longer a big fear. It's more of just, oh, it's gonna shock me, you know what I mean? But it's about tapping into your frequency and realizing that, fear is always gonna be around you, but it's how you respond to it, you know? So how you respond to it, how you react to it. A lot of people react to it to a point where it puts them down and they don't feel like elevating, they don't feel like living their best lives. And trust me, we're just here to give you a message of awareness and truth and make you realize that you have got the power, but it really comes down to your choices. You know, your choices create your reality.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, just give you that message, you know, keep on loving yourself and connecting with the divine. And trust me, things will be working out for you 100%. 100%. As long as you take the right actions, woo! It's going to give you satisfaction, baby. Your life.
100.
Trust me. 100, you know, because we keep it real around here in the field.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But this is just a quick one, isn't it? Because, trust me, we've got things to do, baby.
It is.
Because we're really doing things out here.
But let me just leave you with, Una with this, yeah?
She has to get the last message.
Yeah.
That's Lady Gravity. Hi, Shaq.
It's time. All right? Now tell him no. It's time. Men, stand up and be men. Women, stand up and be women. Remember who and what we are. We're not scared. We're not going to run around like headless chickens. You know what you need to do if you're a man. And if you don't, then I suggest you learn very, very quickly. Because when we come together, we're strong. Do you know what I'm saying? We are strong. We're formidable. And nothing can come in and disrupt that structure once it's in place. Yeah? The temple's got to be built strong. Because it's got to cover and shelter the little ones then and the elderly. If we're falling apart and we're not sure what we're doing and we can't this and we can't that, how are we going to take care of the young ones and the elderly? You know, we can't do what they're suggesting everybody does in Canada right now. You know, assisted suicide. Make it legal for you to euthanize yourself because, you know, like certain things are your money run low or whatever. There's a woman that was an Olympian. She was a paraplegic, but she took part in some of the Olympic sports and what have you. She hit on hard times, and they wrote her a letter saying to her that they could assist her with her demise if she felt that life was really difficult for her, too difficult for her. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Over 10,000 people already have had this government assistance to leave this planet before them time because of circumstances that they find themselves in. Just crazy. So let's be who we are, mighty men and women. I'm not saying to go around and harm and hurt people. Now I'm saying to protect your village, protect your community, protect the children, protect the elderly. The men, stand up and protect the women.
Get up, stand up.
Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Trust, man.
Don't give up the fight.
Life.
Yeah. Just listen to Brother Bob. I'm telling you, he put the message out there in all it wants about wriggling up yourself and singing words that didn't mean nothing. He was telling you to emancipate yourself from mental slavery because none but ourselves can free our minds. That's why they took the brother out.
He was ahead of his time, man.
He brought men and women together of all nationalities, all creeds, all colours came together as one. And they know the unity amongst the race on the planet is their downfall. So people like him have got to go, and then they bring in people like who they bring in to start talk slackness and denigrate the man, denigrate the exactly.
No, that was
exactly because they know how to control that mental. They know how to disassociate you from your greatness and make you to some little gang banging or some little hoe. They know how to do it. That's what they've been doing for the longest time. But it's time to brush all of that off. It really is. So you know everything that you've been given. All the so-called men and women that have been pushed out there on you, and you, oh, I love so-and-so and I love so, and you start to emulate them. You're undressing, because sometimes you think to yourself, oh, what them girl have on? What in God's name do they have on? They're not dressed, you know? But guess what? It's acceptable because somebody's made something that shows every part of your physiognomy. Yeah? Yeah, every part of your physiognomy. And you're there thinking that you look good because you look hot and spicy. Listen, you're beautiful. We are beautiful. We don't have to be exposing our body parts to make man attract to it. It's what's between your ears, darling. No what big twixt your foot. You understand me? So let's get back to that form of glory and greatness because it's in us. It's in your DNA. Yeah? Raise up back and have a strong, strong community whereby we can be in the world but not of it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to deal with none of the foolishness where they are put out. They don't affect you. It's not you. That's somebody else's life, not yours. You know what I'm saying? But we have to come together. We have to come together as a community, as men and women, and stand up and do the right thing. We cannot stay silent when we see certain things are going out there and say, oh, can't affect me, I'm all right. Oh, don't bother me, I can still pay my bills. I can still, oh, food's gone up, I can still afford it. Yeah, but somebody down the road there can't, but you feel good. We have to be the musketeers up in this thing. You understand me? We all, the planet is abundant. The Creator gave us everything that we could possibly need. Not for us to be greedy, one of the 7 deadly sins, gluttony, and crave and hoard things to ourselves and use a piece of paper like monopoly money and print it off for ourselves and make you work for it. It's called slavery. Time. We're done.
Yeah, I'll just end it on this, I think we all need a purification. And until we have that purification, it's going to be very hard for us to elevate and organize. The science of organization. We need to start organizing our lives and doing what we really need to do for ourselves and our loved ones. Then things will change straight away, But yeah, that's all we got to say for this one here, start, you know what I mean? Quick outro this time. Keep working on your mind, body, and soul in order to achieve your goals because we're there with you.
Spiritually.
You don't know, bro and sis. Stay lit. STS and Lady Crown over and out. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Peace.